So, welcome back. We go the skill provider. What exactly we discussed yesterday? We're discussing something called conditional in spoken English, right? Conditional is very crucial whenever it comes to spoken English because you use a lot of conditional in your day-to-day life. And I believe I discussed a lot of things about the case number one, case number two, but it was a truncated class actually. So let me complete all the things today itself so that in a single video you can find everything. So what I have already informed you, sometimes conditionals are called if clause, right? And every conditional statement or sentence has two parts. One is called the action part, other is called the result part or the consequence part, right? So let's start from there itself. Every sentence, whether it is something called, I can say conditional statement or sentence, every conditional statement or sentence has two parts. One is called, the first one is called the action part that depends upon you. And the second one, that's called the, we can call the result part or consequence. Okay. So based on this consequence or result, we have, classified the entire conditional using SBL technique, right? Four things. One is something called one. This is something called, or you can say that case number one. This is something called case number two. This is something called case number three. And this is something called case number four, right? So this is case number one, case number two, and case number three, and case number four. In case number one, the result is 100%. Result is 100%. Here, the result will be 50%. Here, the result will be imaginary or no result. It is something called imaginary. And the fourth one, that's very interesting. That is something called was possible in the past. Was possible in the past, but not possible right now. And this is something called the foundation of what is called conditional in spoken English, right? This is the things we are supposed to work like this. One is called action part, other is called result part. Look, in every situation, whether it is, the case one, case two, case three, and case four, let me tell you that case one you have been using very frequently. Case two, you guys are working also have been have been using it for quite some time, and this is very rare use, and this is used in use. But let me tell you, I am going to tell you everything. I am just informing you the frequency of uses. Here the frequency is almost 100%. Frequency is there. Here there is most of the time you are using, but here you don't use it. It becomes a very imaginative situation. It's imaginary, right? When your mind is in a state of imagination, sometimes this kind of things comes to your mind. Apart from this, there are three kind of things like you always use that. So more କହିବା ଉଦ୍ଦେଶ୍ୟ ହଉଛି ଏଠି, like the way you have learned it or you learned it in something called in written communication, the rules, regulation, structure will be the same. But here we are trying to add some extra things. What is that? Situation, right? Because you guys are supposed to speak it. ଆପଣ କିଛି ଲେଖୁ ନାହାନ୍ତି। Suppose ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ structure ଦେଲି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ, and ମୁଁ କହିଲି ତାକୁ ନେଇକି 5ଟା क्वेश्चन करो, that is called written communication. Written communication doesn't comes to your help whenever it comes to spoken English, right? You are supposed to speak it. The can just watch me. Whenever you ask me, I speak it very fluently, non-stop, something called confidently. Why? Because I always focus on the spoken part. And at the same time, I don't focus on the written part here. Okay. Because everything has been auto. It comes in auto process. I just want to make it for you. Okay. So I'm a con podichanti, like no, this is the things that we discussed. It's the same things yesterday. What you have learned so far? That every conditional sentence, or you can call it the conditional statement, has two parts. One is called the action part, other is called the result part or consequence part. Okay, both are same. Result or consequence, almost same. And based on the result part, okay, so based on the result part, that we have taken, this is something called SBL. Whenever I say SBL, SBL stands for situation based learning. What are the situation? देखो अपन तो English कहया पे चेष्टा करछन. Whenever you are trying to speak English, what exactly you are looking for? You are looking at the situation. You are not looking at anything. Suppose अपन मते first time पे morning रे देखुछंती. So how exactly you want to react? Hi sir, how are you? Yeah, I'm fine. Good morning sir. This is your situation. देखो सिचुएशन केमती चेंज हो जाउची आपण जेतले गोटे लोक सहित माने मॉर्निंग रे सपोज टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ अशोक सर और मुक्तिकांत सर, दे आर माय कॉलीग्स, वी आर वर्किंग इन द सेम कंपनी और सेम स्कूल और समथिंग लाइक दैट. तो सेठी हमें तले प्रथम थर पई मॉर्निंग रे देखा होतो, तो द सिचुएशन इज समथिंग डिफरेंट, लाइक नो वी आर मीटिंग फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम. So I say, sir, good morning. Everything is fine. Okay, let's go there. Do like this, all the things. But whenever you are trying to come out from the office, so that time we are trying to on the departure mode. I am विदाय नवा ପାଇଁ ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି. Your situation changes there. You can talk it. Bye. See you tomorrow. Like, look, ଆପଣ ସେଇଠି ଯୋଉ sentence କହୁଥିଲେ, ଏଇଠି ସେଇ sentence କହୁନାହାନ୍ତି because situation changes. ତ ସେମିତି ଆପଣ ଯାହା ବି କହିବେ ଇଂଲିଶ ଯଦି ଆପଣ ଶିଖିବା ପାଇଁ ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି, କହିବା ପାଇଁ ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି, you are supposed to remember two things. One is called the situation. Very much. ଆପଣ ଦେଖିବେ କୋଉ situation ମୁଁ ଇଂଲିଶ କହିବା ପାଇଁ ଚାହୁଁଛି. Situation and what will be the corresponding structure. Over 95% of your you can say like problems are over, and only 5% is there. What is that 5%? That is something called vocab. So same situation re ko vocab ame व्यवहार करिया, because most of the time you complain, sir actually mu to कही आसुची, but sometimes my mind goes blank because of lack of vocab. आपण सेटे particular word ta पाउनाती. And remember me, let me tell you one thing that is very crucial for your life also. Like देखंतु, there is nothing called advanced sentence. आपण सुनिछन्ती कोठी advanced tense and time नाही. Tense and time for a beginner ପାଇଁ जेतिक, as a professional like you, suppose mo sହିତ आपण 3 मास चला अछंती, you are speaking English, तो आपण ପାଇଁ जहा मो ପାଇଁ मत tense and time से गोटे डिफरेंस खाली हबो, that is you can say something called vocab বা vocabulary. Vocab is the short form, right? And vocabulary is the like the form that you are supposed to speak. So for example, let me give you, suppose you say, sir, it is raining very heavily. Raining heavily. आपण कहले raining heavily, मोर गोटे छोटे वर्ड लगे देबी, I can say it's lashing outside. आपण कोन कहले it is raining heavily. ମୁଁ कोन कहली it's lashing outside. तो आपण जहा कहउछंती exactly मु meaning रे से कहउची, but मु vocab change कर देछि. I become an advanced speaker. So that's why there is something called basic advanced. आमे बहुत जगह आपण सुनथिबे मु बे advanced level को पळे आछन. Advanced माने कोन जानथिबे, tense and time रे कि changes हुए. Only one changes happens in the vocab part. आपण भलो बहुत गुडे vocab जानथंती, vocabulary अछि, word power अछि, सेटा मोर न थाई पारे, but मोर अछि आपनकर थाई न पारे. And that is the distinction. And this is something called conditional spoken English. This is called structure, and structure remains same for everybody. It is remain. Suppose आपण गोटे दिन हला एटे कोचिंग नउचंती, or you are going for 5 months, it doesn't matter whenever it comes to structure. What is the difference you are going to create and the impact? That is something called vocab. आपण vocab बढ़ेबार अछि, और एटा होची common for everybody. Okay, so एटा जेतला हमें पढिबा आपण के ध्यान से दियंतु. Try to check out the situation. Yes, ए situation रे ए माने पॉइंट मु व्यवहार करबी दैट्स द थिंग यू आर सपोज्ड टू टेक एंड दैट इज ओवर मीन्स एवरीथिंग इज ओवर ओके सो लेट मी टेल यू काली एटा हम आलोचना करथिले केस 1 दैट इज समथिंग कॉल्ड मु प्रथमे कहि देथिले आपन को आई थिंक मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल हैव ऑलरेडी अटेंडेड द सिस्टम केस 1 result is 100% universal truth and something called I mean scientific truth right universal truth and scientific truth re me kon व्यवहार करिवा that is called result is 100% and what is the structure let me write it out for you so that it will be better for you can easily understand okay so so that in a video you can find everything out re koi douchi so that if you have any problems while trying to understand the same concept so it will be it will get clarified okay the first situation the result will be 100% what is the situation my friends the first is called universal truth and the second one is called scientific truth this is the situation okay universal truth and scientific truth we have already discussed in 10th time I already कही देछि the sun rises in the east Sarvajaniya Satya right everybody knows the sun sets in the west the earth revolves around the sun the magnet of a north pole of a magnet attracts the south pole of a magnet scientific truth if you put like no water sorry if you put the oil on water it floats so this is something called scientific truth universal truth this comes under these two things and for that what you have to use if clause plus action part something called action part so action part what exactly I'm going to use something called simple present and for I mean that is something called the result part that is also simple present so both are same like if plus action simple present result hochi mother simple like you can say like if you put oil on water it floats if you throw a stone upward it goes downward or it comes downward right if you go towards the north pole the gravitational force decreases the scientific truth there are so many things are there ଅନେକ ଗୁଡିଏ ଜିନିଷ ଦେଇପାରିବେ ଯାହାକି ଆପଣ ସାଇନ୍ସ ପାଇଛନ୍ତି ଫର ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଥିବେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ସାଇନ୍ସ ଟିଚର ବା ସାଇନ୍ସ ଉପରେ ନଲେଜ ଅଛି ଆମର ଏଇଠି ଯଦି ଓଜନ କଲେ ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ ବସ୍ତୁଟେ 60 କେଜି ହଉଛି ତ ସେଇଟା ଚନ୍ଦ୍ରପୃଷ୍ଠରେ ଯଦି ଓଜନ କରିବା ତାହେଲେ 10 କେଜି ହବ କାହିଁକି 6 ଗୁଣ କମିଯିବ ଆମର ଏଠି ଯେତିକି ୱେଟେଜ ଆପଣ ପାଉଛନ୍ତି ଗୋଟେ ଆପଣ ୱେଟ କରିବେ ଲାଇକ ସେଟା ଲାଇକ ଗୋଟେ ଗୋଟେ 60 କେଜି ହବ ତାହେଲେ ସେଟା 10 କେଜି ହବ ବାଇ 6 ହେଇଯିବ ଓକେ so that's a scientific truth ଯଦି ଏଇଟା ଆପଣ ଏଇଥିରେ if clause ରେ ପ୍ରକାଶ କରିବେ ତାହେଲେ it comes under scientific truth if you can say if you weigh something here and it comes as 60 kg it will ହବନି it weighs simple present କଣ ପାଇଁ ନା this comes under scientific truth right so ଆପଣ ଯଦି ମହାକାଶକୁ ଯିବେ ତ ଆପଣଙ୍କର କଣ ହବ obviously will fly ଆପଣ ଦେଖିଥିବେ so many astronauts are there like NASA ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ପଠଉଛି ଆପଣ କିଛି ଭିଡିଓ ବି ଦେଖିଥିବେ they all fly almost huh? so that is something called scientific truth because once you go to something called sky above sky ଯୋଉଠି କି ଆମର gravitational force ନାହିଁ so obviously you become a weightless I mean created there so you obviously will fly so that is something called scientific truth ଆପଣ ଯଦି ଏମିତି ପଚାରିବେ ଆପଣ ମହାକାଶକୁ ଗଲେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ୱେଟେଜ ଜିରୋ ହେଇଯିବ ତ ସେ ପୁଣି ଭାବି ଥିଲେ ଆପଣ ପୁଣି ସାଲ ଲଗେଇଦେବେ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ହେଇଯିବ କାହିଁକି ନା ବିକଜ ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ ସମଥିଙ୍ଗ କଲ୍ଡ ଦ ସାଇଣ୍ଟିଫିକ ଟ୍ରୁଥ ଇଫ ୟୁ ଗୋ ଟୁ ଦ ସ୍କାଇ your body weight reduces to zero reduces this is something called something called result part to present so you should be very careful ଯୋଉଠି scientific truth ଅଛି ଯୋଉଠି ଆମର universal truth ଅଛି obviously you are supposed to say that ମୁଁ ଯଦି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କହିବି like ମୁକ୍ତିକାନ୍ତ sir ଆପଣ ଯଦି ଆଗ୍ରା ଯିବେ ତାହେଲେ ତାଜମହଲ ଦେଖିବେ So if you will go Agra, you will see wrong. Why? This is universal. Agra रे ही ताजमहल अच्छी आपण जानते एवरीबडी उत्तर प्रदेश आग्रा रे ताजमहल अच्छी आपण सेठी गले 100% देखिबे आ जदी राताराती ओवान हे जो दैट इज समथिंग कॉल्ड मिरेकल हैपेंस right but normally it never happens like that upon jodi washington dc dibe how white house dekhibe that is the where the president of united states of america lives so upon jodi କହିବେ ଯେ ମୁଁ ସେଠିକି ଗଲେ ଦେଖିବି ତାହେଲେ କଣ ହବ obviously that is called universal truth ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି ଆମେରିକାର ୱାଶିଂଟନ ଡିସି ଗଲା ପରେ ଆପଣ ସେଠି ହ୍ୱାଇଟ ହାଉସ ଅଛି ଆପଣ ଯଦି ଦିଲ୍ଲୀ ଯିବେ ତାହେଲେ ପାର୍ଲାମେଣ୍ଟ ଦେଖିବେ so obviously 100% it is true if you go to delhi you see I mean the Parliament of India. ଆପଣ କହିବେ you will see wrong ହେଇଯିବ କଣ ପାଇଁ because this is something called universal truth. ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଛି everybody knows that the Parliament House of India only resides in Delhi. So obviously ଆପଣ ଦିଲ୍ଲୀ ଗଲା ମାନେ 100% ଦେଖିବେ. So try to understand. There are so many examples are there. ଯୋଉଥିରେ କି ଆପଣ ଏଇଟା ୟୁଜ କଲା ପରେ ଆପଣ ୟୁଜ କରୁଛନ୍ତି but you are not using correctly. So that's why I'm coming because this is the last class of this week. ତେଣୁ ଆପଣ ଟିକେ involvement ରୁହନ୍ତୁ and try to find out all the reasons behind it ମୁଁ କଣ ପାଇଁ କହୁଛି situation based କରିବା ପାଇଁ because there are so many situation ଆପଣ ପ୍ରତିଦିନ use କରୁଛନ୍ତି but you are using it very wrongly ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଲେ ଯେତେ ସବୁ situation ଆସିବ ଯଦି universal and scientific proof ଥିବ that is you know applicable to everybody or that is scientifically proved ତେଣୁ ଆପଣ ଏଇ sentence ଟା use କରିବେ if plus action part simple present habo result part mother simple present habo these things already I explained you yesterday right now let me tell you something of the result is 50% today my result I have already informed you ମୁଁ ଏଇ ଦିଟା କହି ଦେଇଥିଲି but still let me tell you once more so that you can recreate the scene for you itself okay so something called case number 2 that is something called result is 50% so result is 50% I have already given you what are the situation all human activities because we have a very uncertain future ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି after 5 ମିନିଟ ପରେ ମୋର କଣ ହେଇପାରେ I don't know because something is very unnatural to us because ଆମେ ଜାଣି ନାହାନ୍ତି nobody is a palm reader something like that 5 ମିନିଟ ପରେ କଣ ହବ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିନି so how can you say that something will happen ମୁଁ for example suppose prakash sir is my best friend and prakash sir mତେ କହିବେ sir suppose ମୁଁ ତାଙ୍କ ସାନ ଭାଇ ଆଉ ସେ ମତେ କହିବେ ଯେ ତୁମେ ଯଦି ଭଲ ପାଠ ପଢିବ ଭଲ ଜବ ଟିଏ ପାଇବ yes that is a probability possibility is there but it cannot be a guaranteed thing ବହୁତ ପିଲା ଭଲ ପାଠ ପଢି ମଧ୍ୟ ଚାକିରି ପାଉନି ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି ସୋସାଇଟିରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି so what is the guarantee nobody can guarantee you or take the warranty for you but they can say there is a probability that's the things we are supposed to say ଯଦି ତମେ ଭଲ ପଢିବ ତାହେଲେ ଚାକିରିଟିଏ କରିବ ତମେ କହିବ ତାମାନେ ଭଲ ତ ପଢିଲେ ନିଶ୍ଚୟ ଚାକିରି କରିବ କଣ ଆପଣ ଏମିତି ଦେଖିନାହାନ୍ତି ପିଲା ଭଲ ପାଠ ପଢିକି ମଧ୍ୟ they are jobless in the market due to some different factors we are not going to discuss that right so here what you have to do that if you ଏଠି ଆମେ କଣ କରିଥିଲେ ଗୋଟେ ଯଦି shall will ଲାଗିବ ଆର ଅର୍ଥରେ simple present ଲାଗିବ or vice versa let me take out the structure okay so that it will be easy for you to remember in a single place okay the structure will be like this if plus action part if plus action part it's something called shall will then the result part will be simple present okay or already inform you like if plus action part simple present the result will be shall will form okay so what exactly ଯଦି the first action part ରେ shall will ଲାଗିବ ତାହେଲେ result part ରେ simple present ଲାଗିବ okay or ଯଦି action part ରେ simple present ଲାଗିଗଲା result part ରେ shall will it will change it they swap their position okay so you have a luxury you can ଏଇଥିରେ ଭୁଲ ହବାର ଚାନ୍ସ ନାହିଁ because ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି ଏଇଟା ଏଇଟା ଯଦି ମୁଁ ଏପଟେ shall will ଲଗାଉଛି ଏଇଟା simple present କରିବି ବା ଏପଟେ ଯଦି ମାନେ simple present ଲଗାଉଛି then it will be only shall will form so that is thing called will now the result is 50% there is a chance there is a probability something may happen may not happen. Like no, you can say ତମେ ଯଦି ମତେ ଡାକିବ ତାହେଲେ ମୁଁ ଯିବି, what is the guarantee that will come? ଆପଣ କହିବେ yes sir, he is my best friend, I can go, but ସେଇଦିନ ଆପଣଙ୍କର କିଛି ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ହେଇଗଲା ଘରେ, ଆପଣ ଯାଇପାରିବେନି। Situation is beyond your control because you are a human being, try to understand that। ଆମେ ସମସ୍ତେ ଟିକେ philosophical ହେଇଯାଆନ୍ତୁ, ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟା philosophy ଟିକେ ହେଇଯାଆନ୍ତୁ, philosophical ହେଇଯାଆନ୍ତୁ ଯେ like ଆମେ ହଉଛେ ସବୁ like ଆମର ସବୁ uncertain future, like ଆମେ ଜାଣି ନାହାନ୍ତି what is going to happen me tomorrow। ଯଦି ମୁଁ ଆଜି ଜାଣିଥାନ୍ତି I'll be the next to God, ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି right? So obviously we don't know what is stored for us। Yes, we have a belief system something is going to happen। ଆମେ what is the guarantee that ଆମେ କାଲି meet କରିବା? Possible, yes, we have a lot of probability କାହିଁକି ନା ମୁଁ ସୁସ୍ଥ ଅଛି, ଆପଣ ସୁସ୍ଥ ଅଛନ୍ତି, you feel that nothing is going to happen by God grace, but the problem is that there may be some problems, you don't know me and I don't know you also, okay? So this is something called where the result is 50%, and believe me my friends, all the structures related to human activity। ଧରନ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ପ୍ରମିସ କରୁଛି ଠିକ ଅଛି ମୁଁ କାଲି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଭେଟାଏ, ମୁଁ ଯଦି କାଲି ଅଫିସରୁ ଜଲ୍ଦି ଆସିଯାଏ ଦେଖା କରିବି, what is the guarantee? ଆପଣ ନ ଆସିପାରନ୍ତି, ଆପଣ ଆସିକି ବି ଦେଖା ନ କରିପାରନ୍ତି, ତ ଆପଣ କହିବେ ଓକେ ଫାଇନ, ଆପଣ ଏମିତି କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଯଦି ମୁଁ କାଲି ଅଫିସରୁ 3ଟା ବେଳେ ଆସିପାରିବି ତାହେଲେ ଆପଣ ଘର ପାଖ ଦେଇକି ଯିବେ, ହାଉ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ୟୁ ସେ ଲାଇକ୍? ମୁଁ ଯଦି ଆସିଯିବି, ଯଦି ନ ଆସିଲେ ଯିବିନି, so that is a 50 chance, 50%। so if I'll come early, little bit early from my office, then I go to your house, or if you say that if you come early little bit I will go to your house, so anything is correct, okay? Structure କିଛି problem ନାହିଁ, but remember the situation is something called that the human activities in the society, whatever the activities you are doing, everything comes under the structure called result। এই পର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଆମର clarity ଥିଲା, এই ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଆମେ ପଢିଥିଲେ। do you have any doubt? ଆପଣ କିଛି doubt ଅଛି anybody, or you can put a thumbs up mark, it is there in your software, ଆପଣ thumbs up ଦେଲେ then I can go to third and fourth, then I'll teach you, great। others yeah please, others yeah everybody please, great, okay fine, so that's all। so this is the things we have already discussed, the case number 1 and case number 2। right now we are going to learn something called case number 3, okay? so that's very important,
Sir,
from
sir.
here itself I am going to teach you something new, okay?
Sir,
yes
sir, I have question. I have a
yeah
question.
please,
Sir, how to make a more sentence like a simple present and the result part is a simple present. I mean, how to create more sentence in my mind?
listen
Do you
sir,
have, sir,
no
any?
let me tell you yeah solution is there, let me tell you ଏ ଯୋଉ situation ଆପଣ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଜାଣିବା ପାଇଁ ପଡିବ simple present। ଯଦି simple present ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି then you can make any sentence। ଆପଣ simple present କୋଉଠି ବ୍ୟବହାର କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି the habit, custom, hobby, universal truth, and then something called scientific truth, and something called our official declaration and running commentary। এই 5ଟା situation ରେ ଆପଣ simple present ବ୍ୟବହାର କରୁଛନ୍ତି, that is something called a simple present structure। ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି, ମୁଁ କହିଛି ମଧ୍ୟ ଆପଣ ମାନେ if you have really attended some of my classes। right now coming to the conditional, the conditional ରେ ଆପଣ ଭାବନ୍ତୁ ଗୋଟେ, ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ କହିବେ, ମୁଁ ଏବେ କହିଲି ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ 2ଟା ସେଣ୍ଟେନ୍ସ ଦଉଛି, ଆପଣ ସେଇଥିରୁ ମତେ କହିବେ actually which one is case 1 ଲାଗିବ କି case 2 ଲାଗିବ। ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ମୁଁ କହିଲି ଆଚ୍ଛା ଆପଣ ଯଦି କହିବେ ଯେ actually ତମେ ଯଦି ଶୀତ ଦିନେ କାଶ୍ମୀର ଯିବ ତାହେଲେ ସେଠି ବରଫ ଦେଖିବ, ଯଦି ଆପଣ ଏମିତି ଗୋଟେ କହିଲେ ମୁଁ, ତ ଆପଣ ଏଟା କୋଉଥିରେ ଭାବୁଛନ୍ତି ଯିବ ବୋଲି, case 1 ନା case 2 ରେ ଯିବ? ଆପଣ ଭାବନ୍ତୁ ଏଇ ଗୋଟେ ସିମ୍ପଲ ସେଣ୍ଟେନ୍ସ ରେ ସପୋଜ ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଗାଁର ଗୋଟେ ଛୁଆ ବି, ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଗଳିର ଗୋଟେ ପିଲା, ଜାଣିନି ବିଷୟରେ, ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ପଚାରିଲି ସପୋଜ ୟୁ ଆର୍ ମାଇ ଅଙ୍କଲ, ମୁଁ ପଚାରିଲି ଅଙ୍କଲ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ମୁଁ ଏବେ ଚାହୁଁଛି ଲାଇକ୍ ଶୀତ ଦିନ ଚାଲିଛି, ମୁଁ ଚାହୁଁଛି ବରଫ ସବୁଆଡେ ଦେଖିବା ପାଇଁ, ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ କୋଉଠି ମୁଁ ଦେଖିବି, ତ ଆପଣ କହିବେ ତୁ ଗୋଟେ କାମ କରେ, ତୁ କାଶ୍ମୀର ପଳେଇ ଯା, କାଶ୍ମୀରରେ ତୁ ଦେଖିପାରିବୁ। ତ ଏଇଟା ତ ଇଫ୍ କ୍ଲଜ, ଯଦି ତୁ କାଶ୍ମୀର ଯିବୁ ଦେଖିବୁ ତୁ, ତାହେଲେ ଏଇଟା ଏଇଥିରେ ଆସିବ ନା ଏଇଥିରେ ଆସିବ, 1 ନା 2 ରେ? ୟୁ ଥିଙ୍କ ଆଣ୍ଡ ସ୍ପିକ୍।
Sir, case number 1.
Definitely, କାହିଁକି ନା ଆପଣ ଭଲ ଭାବରେ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି କାଶ୍ମୀର ଇଜ ସମଥିଙ୍ଗ ଦ୍ୟାଟ ଇଜ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସାଲ, କାହିଁକି ନା ସେଠି ଅଧିକ ଥଣ୍ଡା ପଡେ, କଣ ପାଇଁ, ସେଇଟା ହଉଛି ଯେହେତୁ ମାନେ ଆମର ବିଶ୍ୱବୃତ୍ତ ଠାରୁ ଟିକେ ଦୂରରେ ଅଛି, something called equator, okay? I do have a map, okay? ଏଇଟା ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି, ଯଦି ଆପଣଙ୍କର this is something called equator, ଆଉ equator ରୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର this is India map, ଆପଣ ଯଦି ଦେଖିପାରୁଥିବେ this is India map, ଆଉ ଯଦି ଆପଣ ଯେତେ ଦୂରକୁ ଦୂରକୁ ଯାଉଥିବେ ଥଣ୍ଡା ବଢି ବଢିବ, That's why Tamil Nadu they कम अधिक गरम हुए and Kashmir अधिक ठंडा हुए because of this is our equator. This is something called equator. A equator ରୁ ଯେତେ ଆପଣ ଏମିତି ଏମିତି ଯିବେ then this is called Greenland and other things will find it out. So what is my point? So ଏଇଟା ହେଲା ଆପଣଙ୍କର universal truth. ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଜିନିଷ ହେଲା କଣ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଆପଣ ଦେଖେ ମୁଁ ବହୁତ ସମୟ ବୁଲାବୁଲି କରୁଛି ମୁଁ ବହୁତ ସମୟ ବୁଲାବୁଲି କରୁଛି ତ ଆପଣ ମତେ ଡାକିଲେ ଦିନେ ୟୁ ଆର୍ ଜଷ୍ଟ ଲାଇକ୍ ମାଇ ୱେଲ୍ ୱିଶର ଆପଣ ମତେ କହିବେ ତମେ କାହିଁ ବୁଲାବୁଲି କରୁଛ ଟିକେ ଭଲ ପାଠ ପଢ ଆଉ ପାଠ ପଢିଲେ କଣ ଗୋଟେ କୌଣସି ଗୋଟେ କରିବ ବା କିଛି ଜୀବନ ଉନ୍ନତି କରିପାରିବ ତାମାନେ କଣ ଏଠି ଆପଣ କହିଲେ ଯଦି ତମେ ଭଲ ପାଠ ପଢିବ କିଛି କରିପାରିବ ଏଇଟା କୋଉଥିରେ ଯିବୁ
Case number 2.
ନମ୍ବର 2 ରେ ତ ଆପଣ ଏଇଟା କେମିତି ଜାଣିଲେ କାହିଁକି ନା ୟୁ ୟୁଜ ୟୁର ଏକ୍ସପିରିଏନ୍ସ you use your experience ଯେ ଏଇଟା ହେଇପାରେ ନ ହେଇପାରେ ତ ସେମିତି ଆପଣ ଯୋଉ କହିଲେ ଯେ କୋଉ ସିଚୁଏସନ ଗୁଡାକରେ that is very much evident sir ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କହିଦେଇଛି ପ୍ରଥମରୁ ଯେ ଆପଣ ଗୋଟେ ସିଚୁଏସନ ଯେତେବେଳେ କ୍ରିଏଟ କରିବେ ଆପଣ ଜାଣିପାରିବେ there are so many situations are there ଧରନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ ମତେ କହିଲେ ଯେ ଏଇଠି ମୁଁ କହୁଥିଲି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଯେ ତମେ ଯଦି ଜଲ୍ଦି ଆଗ ଉଠିବ ମତେ ଟିକେ ଡାକିଦବ ସପୋଜ ଆଇ ଏମ୍ ରୁମମେଟ ଆମେ ଦୁଇ ଜଣ ଯାକ ଗୋଟେ ମାନେ ରୁମ ରେ ରହୁଛନ୍ତି we are studying something in Utkal University ତ ଆପଣ କହିଲେ ଯେ ଆଚ୍ଛା ଆମେ ଟିକେ ମର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ୱାକ୍ ରେ ଯିବା ତମେ ଆଗ ଉଠିଲ ତାହେଲେ ମତେ ଟିକେ ଉଠେଇଦବ ଯଦି ତମେ ଆଗ ଉଠିଲ ମତେ ଟିକେ ଉଠେଇଦବ ଓକେ ତ ଏଇଟା ହେଲା କଣ ହେଲା what is the guarantee ଗ୍ୟାରେଣ୍ଟି କିଛି ନାହିଁ ମୁଁ ଉଠିଲେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆପଣ ଉଠେଇ ନପାରେ can you put a guarantee paper ନା ଆପଣ ଉଠେଇବେ ବୋଲି ଏଇଟା ନ ହେଇପାରେ ତ ମୁଁ ଆଗ ଉଠି ନପାରେ ମଧ୍ୟ I may not get up early so in this situation you are supposed to use result 50% এটা universal truth ନୁହେଁ so that like that there's so many endless examples are there so this particularly depends upon you ଆପଣ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ଯେମିତି ଭାବୁଛନ୍ତି ଆପଣ ସେଇଟାକୁ ସିଚୁଏସନଟା ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ଭାବନ୍ତୁ but don't translate always try to bring the sentence ମୁଁ already କହିଦେଇଛି result ଯୋଉଠି 100% ହବ ସେଇଠି ଆପଣ ଲଗେଇବେ ଏଇ sentence ଟା otherwise you can put the shall will form how it's clear it does it make any sense sir or you did need extra clarification
No, 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 sir. Clear,
got
clear,
it
sir. Clear, sir.
okay
Yes,
great
sir.
so right now, let me take you the third thing. That's very important. I request everybody, appointment dekhantu is one of the highest things I'm going to discuss. Right now, this is something called we normally neglect. And we a lot of more ଆପଣ ଦେଖେ ଆପଣ ଯେତେବେଳେ ମତେ if plus use କରନ୍ତି conditional use କରନ୍ତି you make a lot of mistakes you really make a lot of mistakes so just try to avoid that mistake no need of using the same mistakes again and again so let me tell you that something called the result is imaginary that means impossible hard to believe okay so let's try to take the third example case number 3 where the result is imaginary or imaginary situation okay so let me tell you sir imagine a situation try to understand whatever you think in dream that is not reality what is the difference between imaginary and reality ଆପଣ ଯୋଉଟା ସତରେ ଭାବନ୍ତି actually no it is going to happen there is a possibility it will happen that is something called reality but that is not going to happen there are so many things are there ଗୋଟେ ଛୋଟିଆ example ଦେବି like ଆପଣ ମାନେ କୁହନ୍ତି like ମୁଁ କାଲି ଯୋଉ example ଦେଇଥିଲି and let me tell you ଏଇ situation ଟା result where is imaginary imaginative something like that ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟାକୁ ଆପଣ frequently use କରନ୍ତି ନାହିଁ so nothing to be worried ଆପଣଙ୍କର situation ଆସେ case 2 case 1 case 2 and case 4 case 3 ଟା because of your understanding I am going to tell you ଆପଣ ଯେହେତୁ ବୁଝିପାରିବେ because this is comes as a structure ଯଦି ଏଇଟା ମୁଁ ନ କହିବି with something will be missing out କିନ୍ତୁ actually this is it's not required okay but still it's my duty to explain you everything ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଏଇଟା ମୁଁ କହୁଛି but in your day to day life or your day to day life frequently like if you take 10 sentence এইଭଳିଆ ଆପଣ ତା sentence ବ୍ୟବହାର କରୁଛନ୍ତି maybe half or 1% very that it is negligible actually you never use like this but still it is a duty to explain it so what is called imaginary that is not reality ଆପଣ ଏମିତି ଭାବୁଥିବେ ଯୋଉଟା ଆମେ କହୁଛୁ ଓଡିଆରେ ଉଦ୍ଭଟ ଚିନ୍ତାଧାରା ମାନେ ସେଥିରେ କିଛି ବେସିସ୍ ନଥିବ ଲାଇକ ଆପଣ କୁହନ୍ତି ମୋର ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ ଡେଣା ଥାନ୍ତା ମୁଁ ଉଡିଥାନ୍ତି ମାନେ possible you are human being how can you have like wings ମୁଁ ଯଦି ପକ୍ଷୀଟିଏ ହେଇଥାନ୍ତି ମୁଁ ଗଛରେ ରହୁଥାନ୍ତି possible you are a human being and you are trying to think that is ଏଟା ହଉଛି ଆମେ ଯୋଉ ଓଡିଆରେ କହୁଛେ କାଳ୍ପନିକ no basis of that କିଛି ଆର ବେସିସ୍ ବି ନାହିଁ but still ଯଦି ଏଇଭଳିଆ ସିଚୁଏସନ ଆପଣ କ୍ରିଏଟ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି, how exactly you are going to express? We have a solution for that. Okay, suppose this is something called imaginary. Imaginary means what is absolutely not real. Reality କିଛି ନାହିଁ ସେଥିରେ, nothing. ମାନେ ଯେମିତି ମୁଁ କହିବି ଯେ ଲାଇକ ମୁଁ ଯଦି ପ୍ରାଇମ ମିନିଷ୍ଟର ହେଇଥାନ୍ତି, ପାକିସ୍ତାନକୁ ଉଡେଇ ଦେଇଥିଲି। ଆପଣ ଏମିତି କହୁଥିବେ କାହା ଆଗରେ ବା ଶୁଣିଥିବେ ଛୋଟ ପିଲାମାନେ କଥାବାର୍ତ୍ତା ହଉଥିବେ, ମୁଁ ଯଦି ପ୍ରାଇମ ମିନିଷ୍ଟର ହେଇଥାନ୍ତି ତାହେଲେ ମୁଁ ପାକିସ୍ତାନକୁ ଗୋଟେ ରାତିରେ ଉଡେଇ ଦେଇଥାନ୍ତି, bombing କରିଦେଇଥାନ୍ତି। ଏଥିରେ କେତେଟା ସତ୍ୟ ଥାଏ? ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଅଫ ଅଲ୍ I have to understand that I'm a simple human being. And to be the Prime Minister of India, you should be, the leader of the largest political faction or party that I don't have. First, you should be an MP of the upper house or lower house. That I am not. And I don't have the backing. Nobody knows me. Even I want to be, I don't have the support of anybody. So it is completely imaginary, right? So say somewhere, upon age, use but the situation is very rare, but it's my duty to tell you. Okay. So let me tell you, my friend, what is the structure? Will no, this the scope is very limited. But still, I'll give you some examples that is going to create some interest inside you. The structure is something called if plus action. This is something called simple past. Result, or you can say result at a express kariwa. Result is subject plus would plus V1. Would is something called a modal. Okay. So modal is okay. Most of the people have already attended the modal class. Again, we are going to give the modal class. Okay. Modal is very important. So this is something called would, it's a modal. Subject I, you, we, they, he, she, it is called. And V1 is something called go, went, gone. So go is called the V1. Okay. Suppose I take an example of go, went, and something called gone. The verb has three forms, and this is called V1, this is called V2, and this is called V3. Okay. So this is something called V1. Suppose let me give an example. ମୁଁ ଯଦି ସେ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲଟା କହୁଛି, ଯଦି ମୋର ଡେଣା ଥାନ୍ତା, ମୁଁ କଣ କହିଛି ଆକ୍ସନ ପାର୍ଟ, ଯଦି ଡେଣା ଥାନ୍ତା ଉଡିଥାନ୍ତି। ଓକେ, so if simple past, if I had wings, simple past, I have a pen, I had a pen, simple past. Okay, so have is used for possessiveness. Suppose I can say like I have a duster, I have a water bottle, more good chilla, I had, like that. This is something called simple past. So if I had wings, I, subject I would fly. Okay, so look at the thing. If plus action simple past, and result will be subject plus would plus B1. If I had wings, I would fly. ମୋର ଯଦି ଡେଣା ଥାନ୍ତା ତାହେଲେ ମୁଁ ଉଡିଥାନ୍ତି। ମୋର ଯଦି ସୁନ୍ଦର କଣ୍ଠଟି ଥାନ୍ତା ମୁଁ ଯାଇକି ଗୀତ ବୋଲିଥାନ୍ତି। If I had a beautiful voice, I would sing in the Bollywood. Like that. There's so many examples are there. But let me tell you, it was the imaginary situation. ଆପଣ କହୁନାହାନ୍ତି like ମୋର ଯଦି ସେମିତି କଣ୍ଠ ଥାନ୍ତା ମୁଁ ନ୍ୟୁୟର୍କ ପଳେଇଥାନ୍ତି। If I had that kind of voice, you would have, I would go to New York. Like that, you can say. So there are so many examples are there. So it is about a twist here. Let me tell you, what is that twist? ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି ପାଖରେ ସଦାବେଳେ am କିମ୍ବା was like. Okay, I is always accompanied by am, that is called present tense, and something called was called past tense. এটা ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି, you know everything. Okay, so this is something very known to you. I am present tense, was past tense. I can say like just when I was living there, I am a boy, I am a teacher, I am a mentor, like that. There's 10,000 examples are there. I pakhare am lagibo present tense re, was ଲାଗିବ past tense ରେ। but ଆପଣ କେତେବେଳେ ଦେଖିଛନ୍ତି I ପାଖରେ where ଲାଗିବ? I where imaginative, is there anything wrong ନାଇଁ? ତ ଆପଣ ଏଇଟା କଣ କହିବେ I ପାଖରେ where ଲାଗିବାର କୋଉଠି ଆପଣ ଦେଖି ନାହାନ୍ତି, and suddenly you will tell the sentence will be wrong। କାହିଁକି ନା I ପାଖରେ am ଲାଗେ କିମ୍ବା was ଲାଗେ, traditional, where ଲାଗେ ନାହିଁ। ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ଯେ ଆଜି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଯେ where ଲାଗିବ କୋଉଠି ନା where imaginary situation ରେ। ମୁଁ ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ ପକ୍ଷୀଟିଏ ହେଇଥାନ୍ତି ତାହେଲେ ଉଡିଥାନ୍ତି, if I were a bird I would fly। ମୁଁ ଯଦି chief minister ହେଇଥାନ୍ତି ତାହେଲେ ଏଇ ଜିନିଷ କରିଥାନ୍ତି, if I were the chief minister I would do like this। ମୁଁ ଯଦି ତୋ ଭଳିଆ ହେଇଥାନ୍ତି ତାହେଲେ ଏ ସିଚୁଏସନ ଆଜି ଆସିନଥାନ୍ତା, if I were like you this kind of situation could not have come, right? Okay, so remember, let me put it here for you। तो आपण जानले आई पाखरे केवल आम लागे बट वाज लागे, दिस इज कॉल्ड नॉर्मल कंडीशन। नॉर्मल कंडीशन आई पाखरे वेयर लागिवो whenever it is something called imaginary situation। okay, so let me give an example here। okay, let me give an example, then we can go to the last one। something called if I were a bird, if I were a bird I would fly। okay, if I were a bird I will fly ମାନେ ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ପକ୍ଷୀଟେ ହେଇଥାନ୍ତି ତାହେଲେ ଉଡିଥାନ୍ତି, imaginary। okay, if I were you I would go there, if I were the prime minister of India I would do like this। 10,000 examples are there। now this is clear to everybody, ଆପଣ ବୁଝି ପାଇଲେ? and let me tell you this is very rarely used in your day to day life। ଆପଣ ଏଟା ବେଶୀ ୟୁଜ କରନ୍ତି ନାହିଁ, ଯଦି ୟୁଜ କରିବେ you have to come across like this। you are very give very small example, that's all। but you are supposed to know this is something called result is imaginary, that means these things never happen। while dream also it is not going to happen, but still this is a part of our series to understand, to express yourself। जेहेतु हमें हम निजको निजे एक्सप्रेस करिबा, so that's why I have given it। now this part is clear to you, shall I go to the next one? You can take the screenshot and you can go to the next one। you have any doubt you can ask me right away। take the screenshot first। now it's clear to everybody ना किसी doubt ଅଛି ask me, you have any doubt ask me up to this one। एटा तो आपण क्लियर ହେଇଥିଲା, एटा क्लियर ହେଇଯାଇଛି, right now we are here। तो आपण कोन যদি কিছু doubt ଅଛି I can ask, I can clarify that।
Sir,
yes
sir, sir. So I had, sorry, if I had wings, I would fly। पुणी
yes
if I
ମୁଁ କହିଲା ମୁଁ ଯଦି ହବା ହବା ଅର୍ଥରେ କଣ, if I were I ମୁଁ ଏଟା କହିଛି ନା, ଗୋଟେ ଚେଞ୍ଜ କରିବେ I ପାଖରେ was ଲାଗିବ ନାହିଁ where ଲାଗିବ ବା କହିଲି, ସେଥିପାଇଁ imaginary situation where ଲାଗିବ। actually କଣ ଲାଗିବା କଥା, past tense ରେ କଣ ଲାଗିବା କଥା I was, yes or no?
yeah,
ଆମର e plus action plus simple past। simple past ରେ କଣ I am a boy, ତ I was a boy, yes or no sir? ତ ସେମିତି ମୁଁ ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ ବାର୍ଡ ହେଇଥାନ୍ତି I was a bird ହେବା କଥା, was ଲାଗିବା କଥା, ମୁଁ କହିଲି was ଲାଗିବା କଥା। simple ମାନେ କଣ, I am a boy ତାକୁ ମୁଁ ପାସ୍ କରିବି କଣ ହବ sir? I was, I am, I was, ଏଟା ହେଲା ପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟ ହେଲା ପାଷ୍ଟ। କିନ୍ତୁ was ପାଖରେ where I ପାଖରେ was ଲାଗିବ ନାହିଁ imaginary situation ରେ, where ଲାଗିବ, ସେଟା exception। you are supposed to remember that। getting my point sir? or any doubt ask me, ଯଦି ବୁଝି ପାରୁନ ପଚାରନ୍ତୁ। okay fine, if I interrupt you then you can ask me what's your doubt, ask। you have all cleared or you have any doubt you can ask me right away or put a thumbs up mark। we'll go to the next one। everybody it's clear? okay great fine great। so let me go to the next one, and this is very interesting, absolutely this is very interesting। why it is interesting I am going to tell you। okay, this is something called the last, but it is very interesting my friends। why it is interesting I'll let you know। okay, this is something called द सिचुएशन अपन लाइफ रे आसे जोठी अपन रिपेंड करंती रिपेंड बोले बुझछंती अनुताप करंती अनुशोचना करंती अपन गोटे भूलटे कर दैथिबे तापर अपन बसी भावते मु सेठे जिबार नथिला एई जिंस करिवार नथिला एटा मु करिथिले एटा हाइतंदा यू आर ट्राइंग टू यू नो इन द बैक एंड रे अपन एनालिसिस करंती सो दिस इज समथिंग कॉल्ड यूज फॉर एनालिसिस छोटे एग्जांपल देबी सपोज मु आपन कथा मानिलेनी अशोक सर कहउछन मो माय ब्रदर इज माय एल्डर ब्रदर मु तांको कथा मानिलेनी मो मन इच्छा काम कली मो असुविधार पड़ली तो सारे मते कोन कहबे जदि मो कथा तू मानि थांतु आज ए अवस्था तोर हेई नथन तमाने आउ से सिचुएशन आसीबो कि मो असुविधा तो पड़ी जाईची बट एटा तांकर गोटे मान समर्थन इट जस्ट लाइक यू नो रिमाइंडिंग मी जे मो तांको मानिवार थिला एटा वी आर ट्राइंग टू डिस्कस समथिंग बट इट जस्ट लाइक यू नो वी आर ट्राइंग टू रेक्टिफाई इन जीवन न होवा पई आमे एमते अनेक उपदेश देइथान फॉर एग्जांपल आपण मनकर स्टेशन रे जाउछंती लाइक यू नो यू आर गोइंग बाय फ्लाइट रे जाउछंती एंड आपनकर माने पहुंचीवार अछि एयरपोर्ट रे 5 o'clock आपण 5:05 रे 10 रे पहुंचले तो टिकट नो शो हे गेला नो शो जानछंती नो शो मींस इट बिकम्स इनवैलिड यू कैन नॉट ट्रैवल ओके बिकम्स इनवैलिड आपन को रिफंड में मिलबन तो नो शो ही जिबा पारे तो आपण कहबे जदि मु 5 मिनिट आगुरु आसी थांती ताले मु बेंगलोर जाई पारी थांती आउ संभव पर सेटा इम्पॉसिबल टेक अनदर एग्जांपल धरंतु आपण गोटे जगह को जाइछंती आपण भाबुछंती पुनी असुविधा पड़ले आपण एटे बसछंती मु ए जगह को जाई नथांती ताले से जगह को जब जाई नथांती आज असुविधा रे मु पड़ी नथांती तो आपण तो असुविधा रे पड़ी गले तो लाइक दैट दिस इज समथिंग कॉल्ड सिचुएशन टा कोन बुझंतु इट इज यूज फॉर एनालाइजिंग ए पास्ट इवेंट मन रखता इट्स वेरी इंपोर्टेंट ओ सिचुएशन आपण यूज करथन मु बारंबार कहूची आपण एटा एमती व्यवहार करबे ट्रांसलेशन कर देबे सेति पई आपण इंग्लिश कहि परना आपण देखियो ते सिचुएशन क्रिएट करबार अछि ब्रिंग आउट द बेस्ट सिचुएशन इन यू एंड ट्राई टू स्पीक इंग्लिश एंड ट्राई टू फॉलो मी इफ यू रियली फॉलो मी आई एम श्योर विद इन 2 or maximum 3 months टाइम यू कैन स्पीक इंग्लिश तो मोर उद्देश्य कोन होची आपण देखंतु यू ट्राई टू क्रिएट ए सिचुएशन ए सिचुएशन मु एटा यूज करी नॉट मु ट्रांसलेशन करबी माइंड रो ट्रांसलेशन टा टोटली टेक इट ऑफ which is the biggest stumbling block right now for speaking English and it is preventing you आपण को एटा प्रबल मात्रा रे प्रिवेंट करछि जस्ट लाइक यू नो बैकलॉग ट्रांसलेशन प्रोसेस आपण पई गोटे काळ होई कि रही आपण जस्ट लाइक यू नो टेक इट आउट तो आपण सिचुएशन क्रिएट करन तो एटा को सिचुएशन मु व्यवहार करबी रिमेंबर इट इज यूज्ड टू रिपेंट और टू एनालाइज ए पास्ट इवेंट पास्ट एक्ट दैट्स वेरी इंपोर्टेंट ओके यू आर ट्राइंग टू रिपेंट करंती मु सेटे कि जाई नथांती सेमते आपण कोनांती मु ठीक समय जाई नथिले से लोक आकू मारि देई थांता ताले एठी आपण कोन करछंती एनालिसिस करछंती एठी रिपेंट करिवार नै एठी एनालिसिस करछंती आउ गोटे सेंटेंस रे आपण कहउछंती मु 5 मिनिट आगुर जाईथिले स्टेशन टा रो मु ट्रेन रे जाई पारि थांते स्टेशन मु फेल्युअर हे नथांती ट्रेन टा मिस कर नथांती आपण को रिपेंट करछंती so either it's repent or you are trying to analyze the situation into such situation you are going to apply the case number 4 and that's the magic let me give you that okay so case number 4 let me complete this one then I'll take your question okay and you can allow another 5 to 10 minutes with me because this is the last class of this week so आपण माने काली tomorrow and day tomorrow there will be no class for you regular class 8:30 होबनी तो आपण जदी काम भी अछि just you know just say another 2 to 5 5 minutes extra 10:35 रे we can 9:35 रे we can you know conclude this thing so something called case number 4 that is something was possible in the past and the situation analysis करछंती past event or action or repent repent for your past action or analyze or analysis past event or action टाको आपण analysis करछंती बा एटा को repent करछंती एई सिचुएशन ओडा रे आपण यूज करिवे व्हाट इज द स्ट्रक्चर इज वेरी मच इंपोर्टेंट ओके देखो द स्ट्रक्चर मु केमति लिखुची एंड ट्राई टू रिमेंबर इट आल्सो स्ट्रक्चर इज कॉल्ड if plus action part. Action part, we are going to use past perfect. Then subject. Then this is something called result, right? What is the result? Result is something called so that you can easily. What is the result part? Something called subject plus would have or could have plus B3 over. A plus past action part. Sorry, action part. You have to use past perfect, and it is a subject plus would have or could have plus B3. Let me give an example. आपण एमती भाबुछंती जे गोटे रिपेंड करूछंती जदि मु टिके आगरु स्टेशन को जाई थांती ट्रेन टा को मिस करी न थांती एमती मु कहिबि त ओके इफ past perfect if I had gone a bit earlier, if I had gone a bit earlier, I would not have or in authority I would not have missed B3. If I had gone a bit earlier, I would not have missed the train. ମୁଁ ଯଦି ଆଉ ଟିକେ ପରିଶ୍ରମ କରିଥାନ୍ତି ଆଉ ଟିକେ ମାର୍କ ରଖିଥାନ୍ତି if I had labor hard or worked hard I would have or I could have secured some extra mark ମୁଁ ଯଦି ଆଗକୁ ସେଟାକୁ ଯାଇଥାନ୍ତି ତାହେଲେ ତାର ଏ ଅସୁବିଧା ହେଇ ନଥାନ୍ତା if I had gone a little bit earlier to that point he could not have or would not have faced this situation like 100 example structure टे देखंतु आपण टे कंटेंट रहइबो फर्स्ट जदी आपण यूज करथंती बट स्ट्रक्चर इज वेरी सिंपल आपण ए प्लस एक्शन पार्ट हला पास्ट परफेक्ट और इटला सब्जेक्ट प्लस would have or could have plus be right would have could have plus be and this is called past perfect you can take any number of example जदी तमे मो कथा सुनी थांतो एते असुविधा रे पड़ी नथि एंति मनकर काहू कहबे कि कहबे if you had listened to me past perfect listen I have listened you had listened so if you had listened to me you would not have faced this situation तमे सिचुएशन में पहुंची न थांतो मु जदी तम कथा सुनी थांती ताले सिचुएशन में पहुंची न थांती if I had listened to your voice or listened to your words I would not have faced this problem. So there are countless examples you can give. The thing is that it requires practice. Okay. So आपण practice करंतु आपण अगर screenshot नियंतु just take the screenshot and ask me your doubt then I'll conclude the session by giving a very good piece of advice. अगो start नहीं जाओ. Take the screenshot and you have any doubt regarding this you can ask me right away. Taken everybody? Yep. So प्रथम मत पचरंतु डाउट टा कोन you have any doubt you can ask me everybody जदि किछि डाउट अछि you can ask me otherwise you can put a thumbs up mark and look this is not that much of difficult yeah ask me yes
sir
पचरंतु if you want to ask me yes
sir.
yes sir
sir I had gone to sir केमते I had
मु
gone
जदि जाई थांती देखो आपण जिबा कथा
थांतीडा सर
सॉरी सर
थांतीडा सर तो भविष्य तो The expectation.
ଆପଣ ବୁଝିବେ ପୁଣି ଓଡିଆକୁ ଇଂଲିଶ କରନ୍ତୁନି ସାର୍ ଆପଣ ଓଡିଆରେ କଣ ଛାଡନ୍ତୁ ଏଇଟା ଛାଡି ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ କଣ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆପଣ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ମୁଁ ଯଦି 5 ମିନିଟ ଆଗରୁ ଯାଇଥାନ୍ତି ଆପଣ ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ ଏମିତି ଗୋଟେ ସିଚୁଏସନ ମୁଁ ଦଉଛି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ 5 ମିନିଟ ଆଗରୁ ଯିବାର ଥିଲା ଆପଣ ଯାଇନାହାନ୍ତି ଆପଣ ଏମିତି କହିବେନି କି ଲାଇକ ମୁଁ ଯଦି 5 ମିନିଟ ଆଗରୁ ଯାଇଥାନ୍ତି ତାହେଲେ ଆଜି ଟ୍ରେନ ଟାକୁ ମିସ୍ କରିନଥାନ୍ତି ଏମିତି ଏମିତି ସିଚୁଏସନ କ୍ରିଏଟ ହଉଛି ନା
Yes. ଆଜ୍ଞା
ତ ସେଇଟାକୁ ଆମେ କେମିତି ଏକ୍ସପ୍ରେସ କରିବା ସେଇଟାକୁ ଆମେ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ରେସ କରିବା something was possible already situation create ହେଇଯାଇଥିଲା and there is no question ଆଉ ଏଥିରେ ଆଉ କିଛି କରିହବନି but still ଆପଣ ଦିଟା either you are trying to repent ଆପଣ repent କରୁଛନ୍ତି ମାନେ ଆପଣ ଅନୁଶୋଚନା ଆପଣ ମାନେ you are ଅନୁତପ୍ତ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଲାଇକ ମୁଁ ଏଇଟା ଜିନିଷ କରିବାର ନଥିଲା ମୁଁ ଯଦି ଏଇଟା କରିଥାନ୍ତି ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ହେଇନଥାନ୍ତା ଆପଣ ନିଜକୁ ନିଜ it is a kind of very good word I want to give you it is something called introspection you are trying to introspect yourself ଆପଣ ନିଜକୁ ନିଜ ଉପରେ ରିଫ୍ଲେକ୍ଟ କରନ୍ତୁ ବସନ୍ତି ଆପଣ ସମସ୍ତେ ବସନ୍ତି ଯେମିତି ଆପଣ ବିଜନେସ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଲସ୍ ହେଇଗଲେ ଗୋଟେ ପାର୍ଟନର ରଖିଥିଲେ ସିଏ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଚିଟିଂ କଲା ତ ଆପଣ ଜଣେ ମନା କରିଥିଲା ସପୋଜ ମୁଁ ଆପଣ ବେଷ୍ଟ ଫ୍ରେଣ୍ଡ କହିଥିଲି ନାଇଁ ତାକୁ ରଖନି ବୋଲି ହେଲେ ଆପଣ ରଖିଥିଲେ ତ ଆପଣ କଣ ଭାବିବେ ଯଦି ପ୍ରଶାନ୍ତ ସାରଙ୍କ କଥା ଶୁଣିଥାନ୍ତି ଆଜି ଅସୁବିଧା ହେଇନଥାନ୍ତା ତ ସେଇଟାକୁ କେମିତି ଏକ୍ସପ୍ରେସ କରିବେ ଆଉ ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟଲି ବୋଲନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ ଲସ୍ ହେଇଯାଇଛି ଆଉ ତ କିଛି ବ୍ୟାକ୍ ପାଇବେନି ବଟ୍ ଷ୍ଟିଲ୍ as a human being as a have a tendency to reflect on things ତ ସେଇଟାକୁ ଆପଣ ଏମିତି ଏକ୍ସପ୍ରେସ କରିବେ ଓକେ ତ forget the future and the other things ଏଇ ଉପରେ ଆମେ ଡିସ୍କସନ କରିବାନି future is something different sir okay it's clear to everybody mute କରିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ ଟିକେ ସମସ୍ତେ
yes sir.
okay any other thing ସମସ୍ତେ clear na any doubt you have any other doubt now everybody can I get a thumbs up mark if it's clear to everybody then you can get a thumbs up mark from everybody okay fine fine great sir. Okay fine great okay sir so this is I mean all about your I mean something called conditional believe me this conditional is going to help you in a lot of ways ଆପଣ ଯେତେବେଳେ ୟୁଜ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ତାକୁ ୟୁଜ କରନ୍ତୁ ନା ୟୁଜେସ୍ ପାଇଁ ୟୁଜେସ୍ ଇଟ୍ ଡିପେଣ୍ଡସ ଅପନ୍ ୟୁ ଆପଣ କେମିତି ୟୁଜ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚର ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ କିଛି ନିଜକୁ ନିଜେ କୁହନ୍ତୁ and we'll do a lot of practice here don't worry and a lot of new people have joined also a lot of veterans are there like Ramakant sir Ashok sir a lot of people are there they are veterans Devashik Babu a lot of people are Ashok sir a lot of people are there they are veterans they have been with me for quite some time so it is a combination of both old and new people so ame mixing kari kichu topic de ki alochana kari pariba but this is called structure part okay so conditional mu jo jinsa ta sikheli so it is going to help you in many ways it is going to help you in many ways and believe me that ଆପଣ ଯଦି ଏଇ ଚାରିଟା ସିଚୁଏସନ ମନେ ରଖୁଛନ୍ତି କେବଳ ସିଚୁଏସନ ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କହିଲି actually spoken English କହିବା which one of the you can see easiest job in the world କିନ୍ତୁ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଟା ସାର୍ କଣ ହଉଛି ବୁଝନ୍ତୁ ମୋ କଥା ବୁଝନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ ଟେନସନ ନିଅନ୍ତୁନି ଆପଣଙ୍କ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ସାର୍ କଣ ହଉଛି ଆପଣ ଟ୍ରାନ୍ସଲେସନ କରି କହିବା ପାଇଁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରୁଥିଲେ ତ ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଏତିକି ଗ୍ୟାରେଣ୍ଟି ଦେଇଦେବି ଆପଣ ଟ୍ରାନ୍ସଲେସନ ମେଥଡ ରେ ୟୁ କ୍ୟାନଟ ବି ଫ୍ଲୁଏଣ୍ଟ ଆପଣ କହିପାରିବେ ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ ଯଦି ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିସ କରିବେ 15 ବର୍ଷ ଧରି ୟୁ କ୍ୟାନ ସ୍ପିକ୍ ବଟ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ ନଟ୍ ଦ ଫୁଲ ପ୍ରୁଫ୍ ମେଥଡ ଆଉ ସେ ମେଥଡ ରେ ବହୁତ ଗୁଡାଏ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଆପଣ ଫେସ୍ କରିବେ ମୁଁ କହିଥିଲି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ମାନେ ବାବା ଆସୁଛନ୍ତି ଫାଦର ଇଜ କମିଂ ବର୍ଷା ଆସୁଛି ରେନ୍ ଇଜ କମିଂ ଆପଣ କହିଦଉଛନ୍ତି କଣ ପାଇଁ ବିକଜ ଅଫ ଟ୍ରାନ୍ସଲେସନ କିନ୍ତୁ ଯଦି ଆପଣ SBL ଟେକ୍ନିକ ୟୁଜ କରିବେ ଆପଣ ସେଇ ମାଇଣ୍ଡ ସେଟ୍ ଆଉ ଆସିବନି believe me once you take it out you can speak it believe me ଆଚ୍ଛା ମୁଁ ତ ସେଟା ନିଜେ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ଖାଇକି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଦଉଛି ସେଇ SBL ଟେକ୍ନିକ ଟା ସାର୍ ମୁଁ ନିଜେ ୟୁଜ କରି it is self invented by me ଆପଣ ବହି ଖୋଜନ୍ତୁ ଗୁଗଲ ସର୍ଚ୍ଚ କରନ୍ତୁ SBL ମାରିଲେ କିଛି ଆସିବନି this is invented by me ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଛି ସାର୍ ଆଜ ଏ ଓରିଆ ମିଡିୟମ ସ୍କୁଲ ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ଯେ ମୁଁ କେତେ କଷ୍ଟ କରିକି ଏଇ ରାସ୍ତାକୁ ଆସିଛି ଆପଣ ମାନେ ସେଭଳିଆ କଷ୍ଟ କରନ୍ତୁନି ୟୁ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ଫଲୋ ମି ଆଣ୍ଡ ୟୁ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ବି ସୁପରଷ୍ଟାର ଜଷ୍ଟ ଫଲୋ ମି नो ଯଦି ଆପଣ ମତେ 2-3 ମାସ ଫଲୋ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ମୁଁ ଭାବୁଛି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କିଛି କ୍ଷତି ହବନି so please follow me I'm sure you can speak it it's a this is on record ଆପଣ ଦେଖୁଛନ୍ତି ମୋ ରେକର୍ଡ ରେ ଅଛି but still I want to put a guarantee mark you can speak using SBL ଏଇ ସିଚୁଏସନ ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ସିଚୁଏସନ ଏଇ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚର Situation, structure. Upon translation, translation is something going the backward. Translation is like this way. We are trying to read, and this is called SPL. This is called SPL. Upon empty, that is something called, we call it the translation process. And translation process is not a foolproof method. Upon you have taken, I have shown you so many examples. Grammar is not required also. So upon grammar darkar nahi, translation darkar nahi, upon English ko upon bahut kuch lagega. And what is the trick? Trick is that situation, structure, situation, structure, situation, structure, over. এই সিচুয়েশন নটা আজ মু আপনার চারটা সিচুয়েশন কলি চারটা সিচুয়েশন কে মনে রাখুন স্যার just remember that and try to remind yourself, and this is going to clear your doubt. Okay, so thank you all for listening to me very patiently, very energetic back. Okay, so a lot of new have joined, and a lot of salute to you guys, like you really, you are value addition for the group. And let me tell you, tomorrow and day tomorrow there will be no classes for you. And yes, of course, though the new joinee, I'm going to take fundamental class for you. And for the veterans, I don't teach for any of my classes. Yes, for your regular class, we are going to meet at 8:30 p.m. on Monday. And for other things, like those who are new journey, like Bhavani sir, a lot of people are there. I can share Bhavani sir is there, Prakash sir is there, Sisira sir is there, so Jalab sir is there. A lot of people are there. So let me tell you, like you are going to join a fundamental class that is been scheduled for you. So thank you all and good night. I'm sure you have enjoyed the lecture. Thank you.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir. Good night, sir. Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good